already? Okay, well, welcome. It is Wednesday, January 23rd, 2019. We're glad you're with us. This is our 50th show, and I told you last week that it would be a special one, and it is. We're going to focus on 2019 predictions, but we're glad you're here. As always, we're coming to you from the penthouse suite of Stadium Towers here in the Platinum Triangle in Anaheim. We're always glad when you come join us at 10 o'clock. If you miss it and you want to pick up this episode later, you can sign up for Podbean to have it as a podcast and take it with you wherever you go, or listen to it when it's convenient, or you can go to orangeslice.com and you can pick it up there. As long as you have a way to get to Orange Slice on the internet, you have a way to get to all of our previous episodes, including this one. So enjoy it often and show it to your friends. All right. I told you this was our 50th show. Woo-hoo, we made it to 50. So we planned a special episode. I mentioned to you in the beginning of the year that we were going to take 2019 predictions, and some of you have sent some in. Our staff has made some, and I will make some today. But because it's our anniversary show, we decided that we make us a show all about those predictions. And then later throughout the year, what we're going to do is go back and look at the predictions that were made and who made them and see if they are true. Erica says black will be the new black. Well, we'll find out what the fashion is by mid-year, I'm sure, because we'll be told. We'll see it on the red carpet. Apparently, there's going to be a lot of black on the red carpet at the Oscars, so pay attention to see whether or not she was right. And we've had other predictions too, and I won't go over all of those. We'll go back over them with you later on. But I started when I gave some predictions in a prior show to talk about a particular predictor, and I thought we would focus a little bit on him today. He is the time traveler. So I'm going to read to you, I think he made 23 predictions. I'm going to try to get 23 predictions rather. I'm going to try to get through as many of those as I can. And then we'll have a feature this week. After all, I was toying whether or not we would or wouldn't, but we're going to have the dumb criminal of the week. We'll throw him up because that'll be fun, and then we'll send you on your way. All right, let's talk about the time traveler. This came from a story that was written by Shireen Buffa, and she wrote it in something called Brain Jolt, and I think she shared it on Facebook, so that's where we got it. Unless you're a psychic, you really cannot predict the future, and even psychics get things wrong, according to Shireen. Many people don't even believe in psychics, and every psychic I know will tell you that we're all psychic, we just haven't figured out how to type into it. But what about time travelers? Do they exist? Is it possible to travel in time? They too predict the future, but it seems they've already visited it, so it's easier for them to predict. And according to an article published in LA Dibble, whatever that is, a man who goes by the name of Noah the Time Traveler has claimed to been to the year 2030 and back, and then he made a bunch of predictions based on his travel into 2030. So, you know, come on, Noah, it's not a big feat if you went into the future to be able to look back and know things. But Noah goes into detail about what we can expect here on Earth in a short documentary that he produces. And so we've taken some of his predictions that come from that documentary out of this article, and we'll share them with you. Prediction number one, the aliens are coming. That's right. I shared this one on a previous show, but I'll flesh it out for you a little bit. Noah claims that aliens will come to Earth and crash all over the place. Apparently, they're not very good when they get in our atmosphere about flying, and so they're going to be crashing into the planet, I guess. And we as humans will make peace with them, which is good. I'm glad about that. I hate alien wars. I guess we will live alongside these creatures, and we're going to be super content about it, according to Noah the Time Traveler. He said they will have bold skin and be slender-like, and they will make us more united. And I want to figure out why they're slender-like so that we can use their diet. He claims that then they show up... He's doing all this from crumpled library pages that he picked up, I guess, when he was in the future. He went to a library and crumpled up a bunch of pages he pulled out of a book. But anyway, while looking at these library pages, he said that we'll be dealing with futuristic events. Here's his second prediction, and also is about the aliens. The aliens are super ugly. Mr. Time Traveler describes these aliens not only as slender-like, but says they have a bold skin like that of an alligator or seahorse, so they're not terribly attractive. Now, my question is, then, you know, why do we get along with them so well if they're not terribly attractive, and, you know, how do we make peace with them? But he doesn't tell us that. Noah only tells you what Noah tells you. Now, Noah says the humans will live in peace with these people, and as you can imagine, we're glad about that. But does he mean that the humans will also reproduce with the aliens and we'll have half human, half alien children? Noah assures us that the creatures will unite us, but he doesn't tell us about that. He says that these creatures come from planet Louis, Louis 33, which is also known as 369. So you can either call it Planet Lewis 33, or you can just call it by its nickname, 369. No reason for that, but we will take you at your word. Noah, you've been to 2030, not us. The name of the planet they come from, he says, is very confusing, as is their very confusing planet. Apparently they have more nitrogen than we do. I don't know why that matters to Noah, but there you go. Planet 369, full of nitrogen. The planet itself has the scientific name 369, and then he puts in quotes after that, the goose drank wine, the monkey chewed tobacco on the streetcar line. What? Okay, Noah. Here is his fourth prediction. Time travel will be possible, so I guess we're all going to get to do what Noah did. If you ever wanted to be a time traveler, according to Noah, you'll have the ability to do that in 2028. Whoa, Noah, look how far ahead of us you are. Dude, you're 10 years ahead of the game. That's assuming you traveled last year. 2028 before we can travel in time, but Noah's already been there. He has a capability now. We're not sure why. He doesn't go into detail about how you'll do it, but apparently in 2028, you can be traveling in time like Noah. Another war will occur, according to Noah. That's another prediction of his. Noah claims that the United States will go to war with North Korea. I'm bummed to hear that because Dennis Rodman had worked so hard to get Trump and Kim Jong-il to be tight, right? But apparently he didn't give the war a name, but he says, you may not believe it, but it's true. Given certain alliances, but North Korea will, quote, go back to its old ways. I'm bummed, North Korea. Thought you and Trump were working it out. All right, here's his sixth prediction. Human beings will connect to computers. Are we connected to computers now? I'm constantly on a computer. Anyway, no specifics on how this will play out, but he indicates this will be the first step toward mortality. I think Noah means immortality, but maybe when you travel in the future, you lose some brain cells. Anyway, I guess our first step to immortality will be that we'll be able to plug into computers. I guess we think Matrix. I don't know. Number 7 prediction, no more Common Core education. What? Okay, Noah says, it seems that Common Core will be out. It will be replaced with more personalized education. He says that will be highly effective and will be based on testing. Well, that all makes sense, right? If we're plugging into computers, if we're going to be connected to the computers, why would we need Common Core? We'll just have the kids get educated by the little machines they're on constantly, and then we'll test them constantly on the machines. That'll be our new education. Okay, Noah? Number 8 prediction, we will have augmented reality. I'm not sure what that is, but supposedly you'll be able to put on some goggles and see anything in the future, says our time traveler. Anything. The sky's the limit. He didn't give any specifics on this, but you'll be able to put on the goggles, and there you are in the future. So why would we want to time travel if I can just stick on the goggles and sit in my living room comfortably in Orange County and travel anywhere I want to go, and just do it from home? And since I'm connected to a computer, why do I even need the goggles? Come on, Noah, you got to get more specific about these things. All right, number 9, he says, we will become one big country, the whole world. We're all going to be all conglomerated together into one world order, apparently. He claims that we become one big country, and so we will have one single flag, although he doesn't describe that. The photo that they show is just a white flag, looks like a bed sheet, right? No, nothing on it because we're all united. No description on what the flag looks like or what's on it, so there you go. Now, since we're all connected, hence the next prediction, number 10, there will be a global currency that will be the rage. I guess it's going to be a rage even bigger than Bitcoin, not sure. But since we're going to be one ginormous country, we'll have one global currency. I can't help but admit that this would make traveling easier, except for those of us who are going to time travel, because you don't know when you travel in time whether that one currency is going to be accepted in that time zone. Who knows? Or just goggle up. Goggle up before you go. Figure out if the currency is going to work, and then you bring the right dinero, right? Here's his next prediction that also makes you want to say, duh, given that everybody believes this anyway. There will be more global warming. According to Noah, the time traveler, this hot topic, which is always hot, will be a huge crisis, huge. There will be forest fires everywhere, and some states will be covered in water. He says that's going to happen between, 20 2019 and 2030, which is a bummer because since we can't time travel until 2028, we're not going to be able to avoid all the forest fires and being in a state covered with water. We don't even know which states those are because Noah doesn't tell us. I mean, he leaves out a bunch of stuff that's kind of important. You remember the song line that says, I believe I can fly? Well, that's prediction number 12. Like birds, humans will also be able to live in the air or in space or whatever you want to refer to it as. Noah says we will be, quote, as in above, as in below. Okay, so we're flying. I guess if we can fly, that makes it easier for us to do time travel because we don't even have to book a ticket. Humans will also live on Mars. Now, don't forget how hot Mars is, but maybe we're going at night, as they say. People who have been discovering how to live on Mars and on Planet 369 will give us the secret. If you've already forgot what Planet 369 is, it's the planet that the aliens come from that we're going to sort of buddy up with and get to like. And maybe interbreed with. Hard to say, although they have scaly skin, so that would make it tough for us to be attracted to them. It seems we will have more real estate options in the next 12 years because we're going to be going to Mars, so there'll be a lot of development on Mars, which is good news for all the millennials because there's no development here. But if you hang tight until, did he say when it was between 2019 and 2030, somewhere in there, we're going to Mars, so we're going to have new real estate for you. I'm not sure housing will be affordable, but we'll work on that. Here's his 14th prediction. Be prepared for UFO sightings in January of 2019, this month. You guys need to be looking out. You need to be paying attention. I know it's a little cloudy in Southern California today because we're getting rain, thank goodness. But when the skies clear up, be looking for UFOs because they're coming this month, January of 2019. So we'll know how well Noah did within like a couple of weeks. He specifically states that we will have huge UFO sightings that will start to hit in the new year, and they do not look fake. That's why we will believe what we see. So stay tuned on that one. They're not going to look fake at all. All right, his 15th prediction. This is happening now next month. In February of 2019, there will be massive snowstorms. With just a couple of months into the year, Noah claimed that the biggest snowstorm in history will hit the Midwest. Our storms are going to the Midwest, so there's going to be some snow there. I'm not sure they'll hang around until February, but he says the Midwest is just going to get crippled. He says multiple cities will be wiped out by the storm. Not just hit with snow, they're going to get wiped out by this snowstorm. The likelihood that this can happen is possible because, let's face it, it's winter and the Midwest always gets hit hard with snow. Think Green Bay. I always think about Green Bay, but I do it for a specific reason, for football. But anyway, apparently we're going to get just wiped out with snow in February. So we'll see UFOs in January get wiped out with snow in February. Here's a good one. I like this one. This comes in April. So all of these are coming really quickly in 2019. In April of 2019, no more blindness. There will be no more blindness. For anyone who has not been able to see, Noah makes a claim that you will get a robotic eye that will be introduced for the first time in April of 2019, and anyone who has ever been blind will be able to see. That's a bold prediction, and who knows, scientists may be able to pull this off one day, but Noah says in April of this year, you're all going to get robotic eyes. Here's a good one for you in June. If you can hang long enough, those of you who are paralyzed, the blind get taken care of in April. But in June, he didn't leave the paralyzed behind. Noah says blindness isn't the only thing to get eliminated in our time. In fact, in this first half of the year, he indicates that you'll get an implanted chip, which will allow paralyzed people to walk again. This will be available in June of 2019. I'm going to guess those two, Noah, you might be out on a limb on. All right. Here's his 18th prediction. Trump will be reelected. He says on November 3rd of 2020, President Trump will serve a second term in office, or he'll begin his second term in office in January of that next year. These are facts he reminds us that is happening for, quote, whatever reason, unquote. So whatever reason, Trump gets reelected. Trump's opposing candidate in 2020, who the heck knows? He knows that Trump wins, but he doesn't tell us who ran against him. He doesn't share this information. How come we don't know? We know who the winner is, but we don't know who the loser is. Maybe it's an alien. I don't know. They're coming this month, so we'll see. Here's another prediction, number 20. Extraterrestrials will arrive in August of 2028. I thought the aliens were coming in 2019. You're confusing me, Noah. But the extraterrestrials, as you see, there's a theme here with aliens, will show up in August of 2028, not in the first part of the year. They come in the summer. I guess they like good weather. And it's proven thereafter that they exist. They'll be worldwide. People everywhere will be able to see them because they come and crash. Apparently, people who fly into our atmosphere are forced to crash, which I hope doesn't injure them. Here's his 21st prediction. The granddaughter of MLK will be president in 2028. I have to give him some credit on this one. According to Noah, the granddaughter of Martin Luther King Jr., Yolanda Renee King, will be elected president in November of 2028, presidential election at the ripe age of 20. I hope so. That would be cool if she was. According to him, that's what's going to happen. What about the presidential election of 2024? Well, he's given no information on that. And now, if you time traveled, there's a few things I'd like to know, like who the presidents would be, and not to mention the fact that you told us in 2020 we're getting Trump, and in 2028 we're getting Yolanda King. What's happening in between, dude? You left a bunch of elections out, and there's some of us that are in the business. We'd like to know a little bit so we can get on the right team. All right. Here's another one. You'll get more brain power in February of 2029. Now, you've been time traveling for a year by then, so maybe that has to do with your more brain power, but a chip will be implanted. Oh, we're back to chips. The one that will allow people to expand their brain power. I could use that chip now. He says at the time of this recording, when he was doing this documentary, he had the chip in his wrist. Remember, Noah's a kind of cutting-edge guy. He's already time traveled, and he's already got the implanted chip. Although, if you're that smart, Noah, how come you're leaving a lot of years out of your predictions? Here's some obvious holes in Noah's story. He talks about random events, but never indicates actually how he time traveled. Maybe he met up with Doc Brown and jumped into a silver DeLorean and slipped through a shopping mall at great speed. I don't know. He left out a lot of details. His mysterious library pages that he brought back all crumpled apparently have no bearing on anything that he says. He's holding all these secreted library pages in the documentary, but if you traveled to the future, I'd want to know, why are you busy in a library that has paper books? Don't they have electronics then? I think we're all chip planted by then. Why in 2030 were you looking in a library with old books? He says he's fearful to share his knowledge of the future, although he made a bunch of predictions about it. And some years, as I said before, are missing from his predictions. Much is happening between 2019 in the early months, and then we don't get anything until 28 or 29 when he predicts what's happening there, with the exception of the 2020 election. And then he left all of the important events from 2020 to 2027 out. I don't know what happened when he time traveled. Maybe he just missed that decade in his travels. He says that he brought back the important predictions for us. But again, for those of us who are engaged in public affairs, we'd like to know who win the other elections that he left out. And dude, if you're going to travel into the future, how about some lottery number predictions? Everybody would want to win the Mega Millions jackpot. Can't you tell us on a given date, since you can tell us on a given date that people are getting chips and they're going to start seeing if they've been blind and walking if they've been crippled? Why can't you tell us about who won the lottery? Come on, Noah, you got to bring back the good stuff. Noah claims that he has predicted things in the past that have come true, including celebrity deaths, world issues, and world events. And he says there's a picture of himself in a Japanese magazine to prove it. A Japanese magazine to prove that he's predicted stuff in the past. Okay, Noah. And here is the last thing that he says, which is not astonishing to me. The government is after Noah. They're going after him, man. The government. The government is looking to hunt him down. Noah says that he fears staying in one place too long, that the government might hunt him down if he does. Even though he was supposedly employed by the government, I don't know doing what, maybe time traveling, and if he happens to disappear one day, then we'll know why. It was the government, not the aliens, because he's friendly with them. There's Noah the Time Traveler's predictions. So those are his. Let me see. How much time do I have, Erica, to do predictions? Okay. I got a little time to do a little predictions of my own, like Noah the Time Traveler, and then I'll give you our special feature, and we'll send you on your way in our 50th anniversary show. So here's some predictions, which may not be as bold as Noah's, but I got a little time, so I'll give you mine. I agree with Noah. I think that Trump will be reelected in 2020, partly because the Democrats are going to field 400,000 Democrats to run against him, and they're going to beat up their field, and partly because I think his economy will still be robust enough by then that he'll be okay, and I don't think other Republicans who are going to challenge him are going to get in his way. So for some reason, I believe that his base will stay tough, and that people will begin to see some progress, and they will, get over all of this Russia stuff, and he'll be reelected. I also think the Democrats will overplay their hand in the House of Representatives where they have control now, and that overplay will play into his hands, and he's a resilient, tough warrior. And for a guy in his 70s, he's got a hell of a lot of energy, and I don't see anybody on the Democrat side that's got that kind of energy and they can withstand the kind of assault that he will give them, and he will definitely do that. So that's one prediction for politics. I agree with Erica. Black will be the new black. I think all the colors are going to go away. We're going to go back to basics. I think Antifa had a lot to do with that. They brought back the chic of black. So thank you, Antifa. It's the only thing you've done for us is bring back basic black. And that's good because some of us have a lot of that in our wardrobe. And it will make Rachel DeSico incredibly happy that that's happening. All right, what else do I have for predictions? I predict that Green Bay Packers will be back in the playoffs. I'm sorry they didn't make it this year, but they'll be back in. They may even make it all the way to the Super Bowl this next year because they know how to survive the snowstorm that Noah the time traveler told us is going to hit the Midwest. They're good in Green Bay in the snow. They like the frozen tundra, so I see them bubbling up to the top. So there you go for that. I think that Kaepernick will spend another year trying to find an NFL job, and he's not going to get one. But I think he's going to spend the year doing that. And I feel badly for all the stars that wanted to appear at halftime, which is a grand stage for you at the Super Bowl to be in halftime. But now you're all getting beat on because there's a bunch of stars that don't want to appear because Kaepernick isn't getting treated fairly and blah, 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 blah. I think he'll spend another year trying to find an NFL gig, and he's not going to get it. So there you go, Mr. Kaepernick. You're unwanted. And by the way, I don't think it has anything to do with the fact that you took a knee. Lots of people were holding up their fist or taking a knee and are still employed by the NFL. I think it has to do with the fact that you're a stinky quarterback. You know, you're not very good. All right, there you go. What else can I predict for you? That's a little bit of sports, a little bit of politics, and I've given you a little bit of fashion. Should I do a little bit of culture? I predict the Kardashians will still be making money. They've got zippity-doo-dah talent. All of them could actually be graduates of the theater arts department of the LA Unified School District. And if you watch prior episodes, you know what I'm talking about. They could have like high school degrees from the theater arts department there, and they'd still be talentless as they are today. And Kris Jenner would still figure out how to make a buck off of them. Look, any mom that can turn the sexual indiscretions of her oldest child into an industry, you got to hand it to her. So good for you, Kris, for whatever reason. All right. And I also predict that they will make news. I think in 2019, you watch, they're going to try to carve out a little place to make some news. I don't know what it'll be, but it'll be benign, and we'll all talk about it here. All right. What else can I predict? I'll predict I'll still be drinking coffee. That's a safe prediction. I'll predict that this show will have more viewers because we're going to do some interesting stuff to it in 2019. So stay tuned for that. And let me end with one last prediction. I will predict that the trend toward SUVs, which all the big car companies are doing, will just go robust big time in 2019. And then in 2020, in the first or second quarter, we'll start to see a little recession. We'll see gas prices start to spike. People will fall out of love with their SUVs, and there'll be a resurgence of sedans. So we'll see if that prediction is true. All right, off predictions. Send us yours. We'll try to sneak them in before the end of January. Remember, I think we got only one show left after this week in January, and then we'll have to look back after that. So you got a limited time to get those predictions in. Let's go to our feature for the week. I decided to throw one in for you because I had the time, and I wasn't going to be time traveling, so I thought I'd stay here and tell you about it. It's the dumbest criminal of the week for this week. Let's see if this dumb criminal can beat our last winner who had her meth tested for Ebola. Not bright. This one is about Mac Yearwood. Police had an easy time tracking down Floridian Mac Yearwood. He was wanted in connection with an assault that took place over Labor Day weekend in 2016 after he was tracked down after he used his Facebook profile picture by posting the wanted poster of him. That's right, Mac found the wanted poster where he was wanted for assault in 2016, and he used it for his new cover shot on his Facebook page. One of Yearwood's friends commented, quote, "Nice mug shot," to which Yearwood responded, quote, "Thanks, buddy," exclamation point, unquote. Another friend expressed more concern, saying, "Holy Batman? No, he says, holy expletive ding dong, are you planning to get this shit squared away? I'd like to see you again before they find you. I don't know whether or not they got to see each other before he was found, but no, he didn't get it straightened out. Cops in Stuart, Florida, north of Miami, used Yearwood's Facebook to track him to his brother's house where he was arrested. According to the arresting officers, who, remember, were acting on a warrant because he was wanted for assault, and he had posted his wanted poster for the assault charge, when they were arresting him, the arresting officer said a bag of weed tumbled out of Yearwood's pocket as he was cuffed, and he politely asked the cops not to charge him for possession. Sure, just be polite. So there's a warning to you all. If you're going to try not to get caught by the cops, don't use your wanted poster for your new Facebook cover, because, it's easier for them to hunt you down that way. Anyway, send us your dumb criminal stories. I'm not sure using that poster was as bad as turning your meth into the cops to have it tested for Ebola, but there's a couple of dumb criminals over the last couple of weeks for you. When we come back next week, we'll do another show. We may have some surprises for you, and I think our feature of that show will be How to Speak Millennial again, because I know you all missed that segment. In the meantime, have a good week, behave, do good things, do good work, drink coffee, and we'll see you next Wednesday here on Java with Jerry.